All right. Yeah, we're live on Facebook. All right. Let me try and get this text message out to a few more people.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, to getting on right now. I'm sorry about last week. I am so sorry that I don't know how to do a Zoom app, and I basically um changed the passcode for our coaching subscription, and it changed the passcode to this as well. So that's basically what happened. And I wasn't trying to do that. That was not my intentions. All right, John, you want to come back? Watch you. All right. All right, I think I got one more message to send out.
Where was that?
Okay, I think I sent it out to everybody. Monday. All right, good. All right, so Priscilla, I cannot exactly remember exactly what we talked about. I know you talked about some short-term rentals and how the laws are changing in Shreveport, correct?
Yes, that's what we're going to be talking about. New
right,
ordinances that the MPC is putting in place for short-term rentals.
All right, see, my memory ain't that bad. I thought I was old.
Nah, you ain't old. You good. You good.
I promise you, it been what, 3 weeks ago we talked about this?
Because we were supposed to do it last week, and I talked about the week before. So, but we're still ahead of the game. Nothing has actually been put in place and approved yet. So that's a good thing. So, we talking about it and putting information out there before people actually really need to start applying.
Absolutely. And that's the head of the game. I love it. I love it. I love it. What my notebook here that I need to write? Okay, that's my journal. What my other notebook here?
Oh, we got a few people on here already. Hey, everybody.
They knew you were teaching.
Yeah, right. You draw the crowd.
No, that's Joe. Joe got that old pretty voice that nobody know what color he is.
Hey man, you ain't worth nothing, man. Hey, look, you gotta be able to play the part.
Look here. That's why Joe, I always give him my team because he can talk to everybody else that don't want to hear this raspy voice.
No, man. You just have to be able to play the part. Hey, look, I'm used to doing the cold calls. You already know it, man. So hey, I'm always prepared and ready. Now, when I show up, it's a different story. It's a different story. Wait a second. It's I'm 5'10" black guy. Hey, I gave myself about 3 inches, right?
I'm about to say,
me too. I was about to say, you mean 5'6"?
Oh, Priscilla, you taking shots too? Oh, okay. Priscilla taking shots.
I thought he's a Prince impersonator or something. I don't know.
Oh, get out of here, man.
Turkey meat.
Get out.
Hey, you got them black pants with them.
Them windbreakers.
Look, man, yeah, that's what's up. Let me see how many people we got on here.
Get this beat started, man. I ain't messing around with you. Look, this is not LT's comedy show tonight.
Well, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, and I ain't recording. God, they missed all it. All right, it's recording now. Good evening. Okay, thank everybody, first of all, for being on. I apologize for last week. We started our coaching subscription. We have a few people that definitely signed up. We're definitely moving in the right direction. However, I accidentally changed the passcode for that coaching subscription, and it changed the passcode for everything. So that's what happened. So my apologies for not knowing how to use Zoom. All right, but you're back, you're here, and we have an awesome time tonight with Priscilla. Priscilla is coming to get us ahead of the power curve for those who stay in certain areas where the laws are changing for people with short-term rentals. Airbnb, for one example. It's a new wave. Airbnb made a lot of money. People have done a lot of good things, and folks are leaving the hotel industry. Once you start moving money from one location to another location, then some people start saying, red flag, red flag. How can we get this money? Because we ain't getting taxed on this. We're not getting this. We're not, hotels starting to close down because of COVID-19, because of all the different stuff. So we need to find a way to get some of that money that other folks get. So now we at a point where the public, Congress, all these different people saying, how can government get some money off of it? And how can your city get money off of it? And how can the public figures do whatever they need to do to get money off of it? And she'll correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just running off the top of my mouth thinking that this is what possibly going on.
Yeah.
And she want to give y'all ahead of the power curve to give you some information, some insight. So as you plan in the future to continue your investment strategies and decide to use a short-term method, then you will kind of be aware of what you may be up against, maybe because every city, every state, every location got different rules and different stuff. But she's going to come at you at one presentation that can kind of help you be ahead of the power curve and know a little bit about it. Now, I'm going to go off and I'm going to let Priscilla show.
Okay, all right. Am I on? Can y'all see me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So this is my first time actually presenting on Zoom. So I'm going to apologize in advance for any mistakes that I might make. So if y'all see me screwing up, feel free to step in and help me out. So the first thing I want to do is try to share my screen with you so that you all can see the documentation that I'm going to be speaking from tonight. So what's happening is
it's still on. The other one's still on.
Say what? So what's going on is that here in the Shreveport area, the MPC, which is our planning commission, is in the process of developing a proposal for guidelines to basically have a permitting process for anyone doing a short-term rental. And it doesn't matter where you're doing a short-term rental at, as far as advertising it, whether it's online, Airbnb, VRBO, if you're doing word of mouth on Facebook. If you are renting out a property or room for a short-term rental, then these guidelines are going to apply. So I went to an MPC meeting about 3 weeks ago that they had downtown at the courthouse, so that I could get more information about it. And what I'm going to share with you is information from a handout that they gave out. Now, this is not final as of yet, so some of the information was a little bit unclear to me as far as some of the numbers for the pricing. So I'm going to give you what's on here. And then I did call to try to get clarification, which I don't know if y'all have any experience with the MPC in our area, but a lot of times you have to call 4 or 5 times just to get a hold of someone. And then when you do, you have to double check the information that you get. So this information may change. And if you are doing a short-term rental, you'll want to probably call them in a few more weeks or maybe next month sometime to actually ask any questions that you have after this presentation, or maybe get the final numbers as to what the costs are going to be. So let me go ahead and try to share my screen with you guys. Let's see. Okay. Nope. It says unknown.
Are you trying to you press the little share screen thing?
I did, and it brought me up a bunch of little squares here. One says Google Chrome.
So it's on the internet?
Well, I opened a PDF from my downloads.
So look at screen 1. Do screen 1.
Let's see, I have a desktop one. Let me try that.
Yep, that's it. Now, Once you do that, you may see you or you may shrink. If you shrink, that's good. If not, then you just move you out the way and move you down, move your picture down.
Okay, let's see. Just wanting to go into my system preferences. And that is not working. Let me try in another.
When you did
option.
desktop one, it went to another thing. It went somewhere else.
Yeah, it went into I'm on a MacBook, and so it
Oh.
went into my preferences. So let me see. So I'm trying to do the screen share
Didn't you
again.
email me that? Did you email me the PowerPoint?
I did. I emailed you 3 different documents.
Mhm.
And the one that I'm trying to utilize is the guide sheet.
Gosh, okay. Let me try and pull it up too.
Mine says one participant can share it at a time, but you're not sharing.
All right. Hold on. Let me get out of it then. What I was doing is for to walk you through it, I had to look at it.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let me find where I'm at. I'm sorry. I'm messing you up now. So that's my fault.
No.
All right. There you go. There you go.
Let me try to select it again. Okay. Security and privacy. Okay, so it says I need to go to security and then privacy. And then, okay, so I'm trying to select Zoom. Hold on 1 second, let's see. Okay, yeah. I don't know what this is wanting me to do.
No problem. I think I'm almost there. Short-term rental property.
Short-term rental property guide sheet. It should be the one that says like the guide sheet.
All right, yeah, I got short. Okay, hold on 1 second. Get the other one. I see the frequently asked questions. Okay, yeah.
Okay, not that one.
I got you. I'll download this one real quick.
Okay.
All right. So, all right, let me go back, share my screen now. Screen 2. Got you covered. There you go.
Okay. Thank you, LT.
No problem.
All right. So
I made it bigger.
let's scroll. Can you scroll, make it a little bit smaller and scroll down a little bit? Let me see if I can. Okay, so first thing I want to discuss is the definition of what they're saying is a short-term rental. So basically, pretty much anything that you rent under 30 consecutive days, they're considering a short-term rental. Now, the question came up, if we have a guest who stays 31 days or longer, is that still considered a short-term rental and will be held to these same standards and guidelines? Now, even though their definition clearly states that a short-term rental is anything under 30 days, if it's over 30 days and 31 days, they still are going to hold it to the short-term rental guidelines from what they said at the meeting. Now, they did not say that that was actually set in stone, that they would take public feedback regarding that, and that they would be still reviewing that and making a determination on it. But one of the speakers did say that most likely it still would be considered a short-term rental, even if it goes over the 30 days. So a short-term rental now needs a permit. You'll have to get a permit for it. You'll have to renew the permit, and you will have to pay city, county, and state occupancy taxes. You will need to file a certificate of occupancy for the short-term rental as well. So those are all of the things that you'll need to do if you have a short-term rental and you want to continue renting it. Now, they have two types. One is going to be the short-term rental type A, which is if you are renting just a room or a portion of a property. So if you have a home and you want to rent out a room in your home for someone to stay in, or a basement area, then you would be filing under a type A permit. Now, if you actually want to rent out the entire property, or if you want to do commercial functions at your property, say a baby shower, a wedding reception, some type of party, meetings, things like that, then you would need a type B permit. The application fee for a type A permit is, it says $150 in here, but when I called, they told me $100. And I'm sorry, the cost for the type B permit is going to be $250. And then you'll actually have to renew those every 2 years. Now with the type B, they actually divide that into two other sections, a B1 and a B2. So if you have under 10 people staying, then you'll just need a B1 permit. But if you are doing the commercial events, then that's going to be a B2. For a B2, you'll need a special exemption use permit, which means that you'll actually have to submit it to the MPC, go before them, and they'll have to vote on whether they decide to give you that permit or not. All of the other permits are going to be administrative permits, meaning you pretty much just fill out the application and submit it, and then they can administratively just go ahead and give you that permit. So once again, if you have the type B2 permit, you can have more than 10 people in your unit and utilizing that particular space. Okay, can you scroll down a little bit, LT? Okay, and here it's just kind of covering the types of zoning that your property needs to be in to be considered a short-term rental. And it's the same as the current residential and commercial zones that are already in place. So if you have a single family home, it's zoned for that. It's zoned for multifamily or a townhouse mixed use property, then you can have a short-term rental in any of those types of properties. Any questions so far?
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and go on to this second page, which actually you can see there where they have the application fees for the type A and the type B. And then the renewal fees is $100. And here it says required annually, but at the meeting, they had actually changed it by then and said that it's going to be required every 2 years. So when you renew it, you'll only have to renew it every 2 years. And these are some of the documents that you'll need in order to get your permit. You're going to need proof of ownership, your insurance policy, showing that you have insurance on the property. You will have to apply for an occupational license. And then you also will have to have a site plan, basically kind of, showing the parking for the property, what the property location is, and where yours is, if it's in a condo or in an apartment or building, something like that. Also, you will have to make sure that the property meets all of the fire safety statutes and guidelines as well. So you'll need to make sure you have the appropriate smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, things like that in the property. Let's see. Okay, so here is saying a type A, the total number of adults occupying it can't exceed 2 adults per bedroom. Let's see. And with the type B, this number says 8 here, but that they actually changed to 10. So once again, with the type B, you can have up to 10 people before you have to get a special use permit for it. Now, what they're gonna do going forward is actually require that if you do have a short-term rental, anywhere that you advertise that short-term rental, y'all, we're now gonna have to start putting the permit number on our advertisement, which includes if you have a listing on Airbnb or VRBO, Facebook, or any other websites. And I guess that's gonna be their way of kind of holding those platforms accountable for making sure that every listing that's on that platform is actually permitted. So they did not, someone did raise the question to ask, is the MPC really going to be going to these websites checking for permit numbers? And of course, they didn't give us a direct answer to that question, but they did say that if you are caught advertising and you don't have a permit, that there are going to be fines put in place, and then you will lose the ability, you'll lose your permit, you'll lose the ability to be able to even apply for a permit for a certain amount of time. So that's going to be very important going forward, is going through the permitting process and making sure that you do include your permit number on any advertisements that you have. In addition to filing a permit for your short-term rental, you're now going to have to notify your immediate neighbors in writing and let them know that you do have a short-term rental at that location, and kind of describe the use for it. And you'll have to have contact information on there for either the owner, the host, which in some cases may be your realtor or your property manager, whomever is managing the property. There's going to have to be contact information on there as well, in case they want to reach out to you or contact you about that particular property. Now, we did ask what type of notification format would need to be used, or if the MPC would actually type up like a template notification and provide that form for us to be able to use. And they did say that they are going to work on printing up a specific notification that has a list of all the pertinent information that they require that you put on that notification. And then you'll have to either mail it, or you can even hand deliver it to your immediate neighbors. So at least the neighbors that are directly beside you and across from you is who they're saying your immediate neighbors are. So you don't necessarily have to notify the whole block. Just those properties immediately surrounding yours is what they were saying at this point. As far as those, you would have to notify. And the renewal, once again, we talked about that. So it's supposed to be valid for 2 years, and the renewal fee right now is set at $100. They want you to at least submit your renewal 30 days before your permit expires. But if I were you, I would try to submit it at least 60 days before it expires, just because it could, actually take a while to get through the process, especially with the MPC. And I'd rather you send it in earlier and get it back than, wait and then send it in and it take 3 months. And now you're operating without a permit and maybe at a risk of being fined or something like that. Now, we did kind of talk about, okay, so what happens if you send out your notification and your immediate neighbors or people in the neighborhood, for example, don't want a short-term rental in the area, and they actually reach out to the MPC saying that they don't want your property there? Would it be revoked in that case, or would you not be able to even get it? And from what they're saying, as long as you follow the guidelines and meet all of their requirements, you should be able to operate your short-term rental. Just because you notify someone and they don't necessarily support having your rental in their area, it doesn't mean that that the MPC will revoke your permit or that they won't let you have one at all. It's just the fact of letting your neighbors know what you are doing and how to contact you. And they're saying is, that it's not going to stop them from approving people's requests for permits for their short-term rentals. Now I know one of their biggest concerns is parties, loud music, people that are being disruptive in the communities and to the neighbors and things like that. So if you do end up having complaints because of that, then that might be something that will contribute to it being revoked. But as long as you're following the guidelines, they're saying right now you should be okay, because they realize that these short-term rentals are bringing in so much income. And they want to, like LT said, they want a piece of that money. They want a piece of that pie. So they don't really, they don't want to cut into getting as much out of it as they can financially. So let me see. I think that is pretty much the overview that I really wanted to share with everyone tonight. I did send LT a bunch of other documents that were included in the handouts from the meeting. So he's going to email those out to everyone on the list. And one of them is going to be a draft of the application to file for your permit. There's going to be some FAQs and different things like that he'll be able to, that stuff right there that he'll be able to email out to you guys. So you'll have it, you'll be able to look over it. And I'm sure some of it's going to change between now and when this goes into effect. And I did ask when they plan on this actually being put into place and going into effect. And they said right now they're looking at the end of July or the first part of August. And if you already have a short-term rental, you have up until 180 days from when this goes into effect to actually go through the permitting process, get your permits, get all your advertising updated with your permit number, get your notifications sent out and all of that. So it's not going to be something where they put it in place, you got 30 days to become compliant. They're going to give us 180 days to become compliant. Oh, and let me mention, this is another reason that you might need a special use permit is if you have more than 2 short-term rentals, then you do have to apply for a special use permit. So if you have 2, you're good. But if you have more than 2, then you are going to have to apply for a special use permit, which means that they will actually have to approve it. Let's see, there was something else about that I wanted to tell you guys. If you have more than 2. Oh, and this is another thing that we asked them. So some people have like maybe a house and they rent out 3 rooms in the house. And so the question was, do you need a permit for each property or do you need a permit for each room if you're renting out single rooms? And the answer was you actually need a permit for every single room. So instead of you having 1 permit for the house, you would have to have a permit for each room that you rent out. So it's going to be on a per listing basis. So that's really important that you know, so that you don't think, okay, well, I've got this property, I've got this multifamily or this single family, but I'm renting out 4 different listings. I have 4 different listings in this one property, and you just have to pay one permitting fee, one application fee. No, you have to pay a fee for each individual listing that you have. So if you're renting it out by the room, then you have 4 rooms, you're going to need a special use permit so that you can get a permit for each individual room. So, so that's pretty much the overview of the guide sheet that I wanted to go over with you. A lot of this other stuff is kind of redundant, it's definitions, and it's the same information in another format. But like I said, LT is going to email that stuff out so you guys will have it and be able to review it. So whenever you get ready, LT, you can switch it back to me and I can, try to answer anybody's questions.
It's back on you.
All right. Anybody got any questions about short-term rentals and any of the information that I just went over?
Yes. How did you find out about this meeting?
Hello?
How did I, I was actually on the MPC site for another client of mine that's doing a commercial property. And when I went to the website, I happened to see that they had, a calendar with meetings, and one of them that was coming up, and it was like the next day or two, was the meeting proposal for the short-term rental. So I just readjusted my schedule so that I could get down there, because as you know, I have a short-term rental, and I plan to purchase another one hopefully in the next few months. And ultimately I want to have more than the one that I have and the one that another one that I'm planning to purchase. I really see the short-term rental route as one of my preferred real estate investment routes. And so when I stumbled across that meeting, I was like, okay, I need to go down there and see what's going on. Cause I had no idea that they were thinking about actually putting all of these processes in place to start permitting this. So that's how I found out about it. And there are a couple of Facebook real estate groups. Once I found out about it, I went to Facebook, and there is an MPC page on Facebook where you can see some of the meetings and some information about it. And then there's another investment Facebook page group that I saw it in, 360 Real Estate Investors. It's a group on Facebook. And so they had a couple of comments about it in that group as well.
So thank you so much. Also, let me say that first and foremost, but you got this call for even just bringing this to us and volunteering to do this. For all of y'all that don't know, I didn't have to ask Priscilla. Priscilla called me and said, hey, LT, I just found out some great information that I think all investors and all people need to know about if they decided to do short-term rent leasing. So I appreciate you, Priscilla, for stepping out and deciding to learn more and be more and do more. And, just join a group with helping other people to be informed. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. No problem. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm all about doing whatever I can to help all of us get to where we want to be in our real estate career or businesses, and whatever it is we're trying to pursue. So I found the information was useful to me, and I think there was at least one other person I know that's in the group that has a short-term rental. I don't remember exactly who it is, but I know someone spoke up about it before. And for those that aren't in it, that may want to look at this as an avenue for real estate investing, then I definitely wanted to give them this information, because this is not just happening here in Shreveport. This is happening all across the U.S. All cities now are actually starting to put in place a permitting process for short-term rentals, because the market has just been booming for so many years. It has really grown, and there's so many people that are doing short-term rentals. And this is like, even if you are renting, even if you are not an investor, and let's say the All-Star game comes to your town, for the week or the weekend. And let's say you want to rent out a room just that one time for the All-Star game, because I know a lot of people do that, especially in like Dallas and Atlanta and some of the other cities. When a big event comes to town, they want to rent out a room in their house because they know that they can charge for and make a lot of money for just that weekend. Even if you do that, you now have to go through this process to actually get a permit, a certificate of occupancy, so that they can now get the tax benefit of making money off of whatever you make by renting out your room. So this isn't just for investors. This is for anybody who is renting a room out, a garage apartment, a carriage house, whatever, even if it's just once or twice, you still, you know, they still want you to go through this process.
Well, Priscilla, I got two things for you.
Yeah.
One, I want to help you meet your needs. So I'm going to interview you later on tomorrow to see what properties you would like to look at off market to help you find your next Airbnb that you possibly can get. So I'm going to interview you if you don't mind. And then two, I want to thank you for the information, guys. This I want to echo the importance of everybody having a LLC. If you have an LLC, that makes your home or whatever area you do. If you do Airbnb, don't do it in your personal name. Even if you're doing an apartment in your own house, make an LLC so you can carry that electric bill, that water bill, that gas bill, a percentage. You can carry off on your bills. Yes. And now you got something to itemize and make money back. If the Congress, I won't say Congress, if the public officials decide that they want to start taxing people for making an income, then you have to figure out a way to don't mind paying them. First of all, do not mind paying them. Just pay them through itemization as an LLC. When you do that, now you're not mad about paying them because you're getting a credit. You just paid it forward. You're getting a credit. Guys, we have to get out of this mindset of doing stuff in our personal name. That is the ridiculous thing to do. I'm sorry for saying the ridiculous, but it is. Everybody, I don't care who you are, should establish an LLC. After you start an LLC, I don't care if you ain't got a business in mind right now. If you start an LLC, you got something to itemize. When you go on your vacation, when you go on trips, you got up to 5 years before they consider it a hobby. The IRS give you 5 years before they consider it a hobby, right? So if you're buying and paying for trips on under your LLC, saying you're doing business where you're going, you get tax breaks. You get tax breaks. And Winston is on this call right now. Winston, am I saying anything wrong? This is your time to shine, Winston.
Yes, he didn't hear you.
He over there doing 4 or 5 different things. He probably over there closing on some people deals. But Winston worked for a tax company. And I definitely want you all to go to any tax advisor and fact check anything I ever say, right? But I will tell you this. Once you start an LLC, if you don't do something like Fund and Grow or some kind of company to help you build business credit, then you're not going to get much credit once you start it. So you want to start an LLC early. You want to kind of fund a little account and you want to kind of start your business and have it grow a little longevity. A business that lasts 5 years matters. So if you're going to do short-term rentals, don't do it in your personal name. Come up with a little business name. Come up with an LLC. It don't cost much to do it. Go to your state website, the Secretary of State, whatever state you live in. Go to the EIN, the IRS website. When you go to the IRS website, make sure you do not pay for EIN. EIN is free of charge.
Right.
Right? It's free. So if they're asking you for a cost at the end, close out and go to somebody else. Now, the IRS website will have a flag on it at the top. That's how you know you're on the right website. If you ain't got no flag at the top, it's an imposter. They look just like the IRS. They sound just like the IRS. and everything. So I would definitely encourage you to get EIN for your business. If you want to know how to start your business, go to GoDaddy, search domain, try and put your business name in there. And if a domain pop up without nobody owning it, that business most likely is available for you to establish that business. Go to Secretary of State for your state, apply for your business, your LLC. It costs you probably all of $105 to $200. That's it. All of $105 to $200 to start your LLC, right? And then you go ahead and establish that. Then once you establish that, you need to go get you a mailing address, right? When you get your mailing address, do not get a UPS address. Do not get a UPS address. Do not get a UPS address. Get a suite. Get a suite at UPS. If you don't want to use UPS, use a air. They got so many different online anytime mailbox, right? So that's anywhere air. I don't know. You have to Google search on I forgot the name of it. Virtual mailbox.
Yeah, virtual addresses.
Virtual addresses. So
Antoine hooked me up with that. Antoine put me on with how to do that after one of our calls that we did where we talked about the virtual addresses and phone numbers and all of that.
Definitely do that. Do not go and buy a cell phone. Do not buy a phone for your business. Go to Google, get your Gmail account, get your free Google phone number. Free. FREE. Our favorite 5-letter word, if I can spell. Is that right? 5 or 4? FRE.
4.
I put extra E on there or something. All right. So our favorite word, free. All right. Go get your Google. Go get your Google phone number. All right. And then since you're on this call, I'm assuming that sooner or later you're going to do something with real estate. So it's okay to start an LLC with real estate. When you start filling out the paperwork, if you do it on your own, please do not say you're going to pay taxes. You're not paying taxes right now. You're going to delay your taxes. You'll pay taxes at the end. All right. Because you don't want to get that mail every 3 months saying, pay me. And you don't even know how much you're going to pay somebody. So you're going to delay the payment. So that's my recommendation. If you want to go to a tax man and ask them their questions, please feel free to go to tax people. If you want to text me or email me and ask me what's my tax consultant name, I will gladly provide you his name and his phone number, and you can call him and see if you want to do business with him. I'm not saying use him. Use anybody you would like, but I'm just saying I do have a tax man that I like. I can call him on his cell phone anytime. I don't believe in doing business with people I can't call on their cell phone. That's just me. My banker, I can call on my cell phone. My lawyer, I can call on his cell phone. My insurance agent, I can call on her cell phone. I don't have to call a business and go to a secretary to talk to the people I deal with. And if I got to, then it's something wrong and I don't want to talk. I don't want to deal business with them. I don't want to do business with them. All right. So that's just me. Now, I ain't telling you to be like me because everybody can't be no Terrence, but you can be you. Priscilla, I appreciate it. I really greatly appreciate you openly, willingly, and voluntarily saying you want to provide a service to this call. I definitely want to encourage anybody else on this call that think they know something and want to provide a service to other people and provide information. I want to encourage you, just reach out to me. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no because this is your opportunity to help someone else be better. And I promise you, after being on a coaching call just a while ago, and I've been a coaching call another hour, I would gladly allow anybody to brief on Mondays to help us out so I can have a break and I ain't got a plan. So that takes out, thank you so much for giving us that freedom time. Priscilla, that deal that you sent to me, it rained so bad last week. She was not able to drive in. The young lady that would like to, get rid of that house off market. But she called me and I called her and we talked and she's going to come in this week. So hopefully the rain will slow down long enough for her to make that drive in from out of town. And I already got a buyer in place for her that loved that area. I mean, he loved that area.
Awesome.
Yes. You see how she happy? Yeah, that's a realtor. She just referred an offline deal that was not a deal for anybody else, but it was a person that had a problem that said they want to get rid of it. So since realtors like, man, that deal ain't gonna work for no realtor because of the meat on the potato and the area, then she said, hey, Terrence is a good person that I would like to refer this investor. And the realtor that she referred me to is another realtor out of town. And she said, hey, how you doing? You're my new best friend. And she's just excited. So for anybody that say that you cannot work with a realtor in this game, you're absolutely wrong. And if you can't, it's because you're not integrity. You don't have any integrity, or you're doing the business all wrong. You can work with a realtor, because at the end of the day, if I find a house off market, that a person is asking retail for, I'm not gonna play with that person and say I can get rid of that property. You're asking retail. Let me call Priscilla if she's in that area. Let me call Antoine if it's in the Houston area. Let me call any realtor I know in any state or city that it falls in the area and say, this person have a property that they want to sell retail. This is the deal. Here's the scoop. Here's the background. Please help them with their problem. Let me step out the way. That's how we work in this deal. We have to each help one to help the customer. It's not about LT greasing Terrence greasing his pocket. It's not about Priscilla greasing her pocket. It's about a person with a problem they need assistance with, and they don't know where to go, and they come to somebody asking for assistance. Now, if we can't help them, we point them in a direction of somebody that can. Priscilla, did I say anything wrong?
No, you're right.
That's it.
Right.
We want the client to be happy. We want the customer to be happy. We want the person that we're servicing to desire. If anybody ever read How to Influence People and How to Gain Friends and Influence People, it says over deliver. Be the one that helped others. Give them before they give to you. The 50 Laws of Power. All these books are good to read. How to be an effective salesperson. All these things teach you to give to others. How can I help you? Now, how can I help me? Take you out of it. It's them that you want to help. And you find a way to service them. Priscilla said, I want to help the people on this call learn about short-term rentals. I'm a realtor. I help folks sell their homes. I help folks buy houses. But guess what? Some people want to rent houses. Let me see if I can help them as well. All right, I'm going to shut up. That was a lot. I know I gave y'all a lot, but I'm going to shut up and give the floor back to you all to ask Priscilla any questions. I just wanted to encourage you to ask her as many questions as possible, because she came on to deliver a message. If she can't answer your question, y'all can email me and we'll get back with you. And then I'll get a question to her, or we'll find a way to answer your questions. I'm going to shut up now.
Excuse me. Well, I recently saw that Airbnb was making a lot of changes themselves to the way that they do business. So how does that affect the short-term rental market?
Are there any specific changes that you're referring to?
No, because I didn't read through all of them. I just saw on Bigger Pockets they were making I want to say 103 changes to the way that they do business. I was just reading the other day. So,
well, my short-term rental is on Airbnb, and I'm on there frequently. So, what that might have been news to people who aren't on there. So there may be some changes that they made that I already know about. So if it's not something specific, I can't necessarily talk to it. I do know that, especially for Shreveport and some other markets that are just starting to put this permitting process in place, they are now going to start collecting those taxes, those city and state occupancy taxes and sales taxes. Well, those sales taxes that, we have to pay for having a rental. Now, the client that books the rental, they will be paying most of those taxes. Airbnb is actually going to be collecting those. Those taxes are going to be added to the cost of them renting your space. and Airbnb will collect those taxes, and they will actually send them in to the appropriate municipality for you, whether it be your city, your county, or the state. So as a business owner, instead of you getting that money and having to save it and set it aside in a special account and then pay it to those municipalities, Airbnb is going to do that for you. So it's kind of like a pass-through scenario for us, which definitely makes it easier for us because you don't really have to worry about doing any of the bookkeeping and the accounting and trying to keep up with this money that you're getting and not spending it or not, having it go into your regular business account along with your proceeds from the listing. Airbnb is going to do all of that for us so that we don't really have to worry about it. So that's the really good thing about it. Of course, we don't really necessarily want to have to be paying all of those taxes, but majority of it actually is going to be covered by the client and be paid on their end.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. This is Antoine. Hey, Priscilla.
Hey.
It just seems so unlawful for them to tax a business over again. Now, maybe a personal person because they might not go by whatever guidelines or whatnot. But for as a business, it just seems so unlawful for them to tax you and call it a permit.
And there are a lot of people that are really upset about it. They don't feel like this should actually. Some people don't even feel like the MPC should be involved in it, that it should be a zoning type issue or an occupancy type issue. But then because so many of the people in the community are, it affects them too. I can kind of see why they would need to be able to kind of manage it. But to the point that you're making, yeah, there's a lot of people that are upset twofold because they're upset that the MPC is even regulating it. And then two, that they're now taxing us and the clients on it and getting, more money out of it that way. So unfortunately, I just don't think it's not going to stop, though. I don't think it's going to stop. This is going to happen. It's going to go through. There are some cities where it already has been put into place. Many cities where it already has been put into place, and they're rolling it out across multiple other cities as well. So there's not going to really be anything that we can do about it. But I do understand what you're saying. It feels like we're being double taxed. It feels like we're paying our taxes at the end of the year for having a business. And now we're actually paying these occupancy taxes. But I will tell you one thing that I learned as well. And this is a question I actually I was asking LT earlier this week just to kind of see. But when you have a real estate LLC, in most cities, you don't have to file a certificate of occupancy. So you're actually, if you haven't, then you're not necessarily paying like occupancy taxes or and I don't know if you still have to have a business license, even if you don't have to have a certificate of occupancy. But like in my case with my LLC, I don't have to have a certificate of occupancy because it's for rental properties. And I was just about to, finally go and try to apply for my certificate of occupancy and then apply for a business license. And then as I was going through this process, I found like, oh, well, I don't have to have one for rental properties. So in this case, I'm not actually being double taxed because I'm not paying occupancy taxes on my business or my LLC because it's specifically set up to own rental properties. But for those businesses that aren't and that are that do have a certificate of occupancy and are paying those taxes already, then yeah, I definitely can see that.
Yeah, I was just voicing my opinion, man. It seems so unfair.
Yeah.
And And another note though, my cousin said he's still gonna get with you. I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I know it's gonna take him a little time to kind of do some things that he wants to do. And that's the thing with me, I wait on people. I understand that people have things they want to put in place. And with my background in credit repair and familiarity with processing loans and mortgages and stuff like that, I know what they're going to be looking for. So that's cool. He can, take his time, and when he's ready, he can give me a call.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anybody else got any comments, any questions? Y'all not into doing short-term rentals?
I got a comment. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I think the information you brought was really helpful. I didn't even know Shreveport was even thinking about doing that with the Airbnb short temporary rental. So that was just helpful to know.
All right, no problem. You're welcome. If you have any other questions, you guys can text me or call me. I'm not going to say email me because it'll probably be days before I check it. But y'all can text me or call me if you have any questions about it. And if you have anybody coming to town that needs a place to stay, remember, I have a short-term rental available. So y'all can reach out to me or go on to Airbnb, and we can send them the link. They can check it out. They can book it. Or even if they don't want to book through Airbnb, they can reach out to me directly to book it.
You gonna put your number? How to get in touch with you? Put your number out there on.
I will. I'll put it in the chat for you guys. And I'm a realtor as well. So if you have any real estate related questions that's off topic, not dealing with short-term rentals, feel free to ask while I'm on here.
How long have you been in the short-term rental game?
I have had mine I got it right before COVID hit. So when was that? 2019. So almost 2 years. Yep, almost 2 years.
And your rental is in Shreveport or Bossier?
No, mine is in Shreveport, off of Uri Drive in East 7th Street. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo.
I'll tell them with COVID-19, did you experience a bad time with COVID-19 with your short-term short-term rental?
Actually, no, I did not. Having a short-term rental was such a blessing in disguise for me. It really was, because I stepped out and did it. And I didn't know anybody that was doing one. And I hadn't, done one myself before. So I was actually leasing it out as a regular rental. And I made this decision to, after doing a lot of research, I made the decision to switch it over to a short-term rental, and, invested in buying the furniture, paying all the electricity, Wi-Fi, doing all of that stuff. And I really was, I'm like, shoot, I'm putting a lot of money into turn this into a short-term rental, but I think it's going to pay off. But if nobody books it, then what am I going to do? I bought all this furniture and got all this stuff up in here, and, I don't know how it's going to turn out. And COVID hit. I think I put it on Airbnb in February, and COVID really hit a couple of weeks after that in March. So, I was scared. I was like, okay, man, nobody's traveling. Everybody's staying at home. Everybody's quarantined. I'm not going to make no money. But I got my first rental, and then a couple weeks later, I got another rental, and it has been staying booked consistently since March. And what was that? Was that 2020? Yeah. So it's been steadily booked since then. I think I started my LLC in like September, October 2019. And I had a couple leases that did not work out at all. And so I did the pivot, switched to short-term renting it, putting it on Airbnb. COVID hit, and my bookings just started being booked. And it's been, like I say, consistently booked every single month since COVID. It's been booked, and it's actually been profitable every single month. And some months, the profit margin has been pretty good. It's been like maybe $400 or $500 profit margin, which is in the rental business, that's pretty good. And so it just depends on how well you keep up with your listing on Airbnb, what type of customer service you provide, and what type of reviews you get. But like I say, this has really been a blessing for me because it's been making money every single month since it's been in operation, and it's been profitable every single month. And the slowest month I had was actually maybe this past April. In May I had like a month-long booking. The person checked in April, they checked out in May, and then I had like 2 weeks where I didn't have any reservations and it wasn't booked. And then like I think towards the very end of May, early part of June, I got a booking, and then I have a couple this month. So it's been really solid throughout all of COVID, which surprised me. But there's a lot of people that come to Shreveport, way more than I knew, that come to Shreveport on business or to work or to visit their family and friends.
I have a question.
Yes,
and that question, this is Steve. That question is for you, Priscilla, is would you go back to the rental method, or would you continue going forward to the Airbnb? Which one do you see as the most probable advance?
Sir, I don't think I'm definitely moving forward with short-term rentals. You make so much more money in doing a short-term rental, whereas your profit spread, if you're doing a straight lease, you're lucky if you get $200 a month profit, and with Airbnb, you can double what your expenses are. You can make double what your expenses are. Mm-hmm. So if my expense is $800, but I done made $1,600. Now I done, made enough to cover my expenses and have enough. And oftentimes that's what happens. As it's being booked each month, you make so much more money doing short-term rentals. And I really, I can't see myself going back to just doing traditional leasing, because you can just get so much more income doing the short-term rentals. I may still have one or two, and I have a regular property that I do a regular lease on as well. And I may acquire one or two other properties that I do a regular lease on, but I would really have to have a specific purpose for that. Other than that, man, it's short-term rentals for me. Plus I enjoy it more. I like doing the short-term rentals. I kind of always wanted to own a hotel. And this is a way for me to kind of be more involved with my guests and be more interpersonal. I like the interaction that you have with your clients, even though a lot of it is online. It's just a platform where people actually reach out to you and they talk to you about renting your place and why they're coming to town and what they have planned. And it's up to you to kind of determine how involved you want to be. You can really do a lot of customer service as far as giving them directions, giving them suggestions of places to go, things to do. You can have little gift baskets with tourist information, and you can just do a whole lot with it. And I really like that a lot. Plus it's practice for when I do partner up with, some of you guys and build that apartment community.
Add me in. I like your personality, so I know we can make some money together. So when you get ready to do that, add me in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, Priscilla. I mean, look, guys. I mean, she opened the door. I asked that question about how did she do during COVID, because one thing Priscilla said when she first started is she didn't know nobody else doing it, but she took a chance. She took action, and she started. Right. And she's so glad that she started. Yes. If you don't hear nothing else besides she took action and she started. You can't. What's up, mama? You got something?
No.
She sound like Friday. You want some of this, old man? No. But look, so I just want to encourage everyone, guys, to take action, because I promise you this: if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to get the same result. But if you do something different, you're going to either learn from what you tried to do, or you're going to get a better result. At the end of the day, you will be farther along down the list if you fail forward.
Yeah.
If you fail forward. I rather die trying than not to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
I rather position myself in a place where I'm trying to do more for my family, my kids, my loved ones, than not to try it out and to just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. I'm sorry. I know it sounds like a preaching, because it is. I'm preaching a change in your life, a change in what you're doing, and to take action. And to take action. And as long as you do those things and think positively, the law of attraction, by law of attraction, this is God law, not man law. The law of attraction, good things will happen for you and to you. For you and to you if you take positive action in the right direction. All right, we 11 minutes over. This is absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for being patient with us as we work through our Zoom.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm sorry.
Nah. I mean, look, I want to be perfectly imperfect. I want to be perfectly imperfect. I want to take as many actions as possible because I'm not perfect, but I want to try and do the best I can to be perfect. And it's going to show how imperfect I am. However, Priscilla said, hey, I never used Zoom before. I never did this before, but guess what? Here I go.
Pretty much, yeah.
So guys, stop being afraid of failing. Stop being afraid of what people think of you. I can't stand when somebody think about what somebody think of them. I think you got poor self-esteem when you worried about what another person think of you. You have some problems, some interpersonal problems. I'm sorry if that hurt your feelings. But if you worried about what another person think of you and you did your best, you need to go into a psychiatrist and lay on their chair and talk to them, because you got some problems at home inside of you. You should not worry about what nobody said, because guess what? They talked about Jesus. They dogged Jesus. They said all kinds of things about him, and they lied. And some of the stuff may have been a hint of truth. And you worried about what somebody say about you. Stop. Just do what you got to do to be next and be great. And that's all I want. That's why I want to encourage everybody. That's my challenge to you. Be great. Do what you got to do. Thank you for taking action. Thank you for staying on this call that long. Thank you for getting up and getting on this call. You know, thank you, Priscilla, for volunteering. And SL, I'm still waiting on you to volunteer. I ain't going to point you out, but I did. I need as much help as possible now, man. I need somebody else to pick up these Monday second calls. I'd rather somebody else do it. Hey, you got some, Joe? I think Joe hugged up. He probably took a nap. He got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go running.
Ooh,
Man, hold
Yeah,
on.
I
What's
got
the new
another call.
plan? Huh? Joe.
Oh yeah, nothing. I was just talking to myself. I had another call to get on. But
Okay.
anyway, thank you. Appreciate it. It was a great information. But you need to understand that the city wants its tax dollars. That's all.
Yeah.
They're losing money because people are doing Airbnb and they're coming into their neighborhood. They're not paying those taxes they need to pay, and they're just trying to regroup the taxes so they can stay afloat. Now, I don't think it's fair that you have to pay the taxes because you act like you're paying them twice, but they're still tax deductible. If you renting out your house for $30 a night and the tax is $15 or $10, now you rent it out for $40 a night. That's all. Just cover the taxes. So either way it go in this life in America, either you're gonna pay taxes somewhere down the line. Okay, so get used to it while you're in business until you get to a point where you don't have to pay any tax at all because you have enough deductions, the legal deduction that will stop you from paying taxes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank
That's
you.
great advice, guys. That's great advice. So look, Priscilla, you got any closing remarks before we leave? And then any closing questions, go ahead and exit now to Priscilla. We're 14 minutes over. And Priscilla, I'm gonna shut up, unmute. And whenever you decide that it's over, that's when I'm gonna mash end all.
Okay. All right. Any last minute questions? Anybody got any comments, questions, short-term rentals, Airbnb, real estate? Okay. All right. Well, if nobody has any questions, once again, thank you guys for being patient with us through all of this Zoom stuff. And if you need me, call me or text me. My number is in the chat. So whatever it is, I can help you. Even if you think of questions after the call is over with, whether it's on short-term rentals or anything real estate, feel free to reach out to me. I may not be able to answer you during the day when I'm at work, but if you text me on my lunch break or in the evening, then I'll get back to you. Best time to catch me is in the evenings. But I'm available. If y'all need me, holler at me. Otherwise, thank you all and have a good night. Thanks, LT, for hosting the call, you and Joe. We'll see you next Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good night. Bye, guys and ladies.